Kids were too quiet and probably slow. My sister stopped inviting Emma and Daniel to family gatherings unless I specifically asked. And my mother, the woman who raised me, began introducing my nieces and nephews as the grandkids, while Emma and Daniel stood 3 feet away. Last Thanksgiving, my nephew spilled juice on Emma's dress. She cried. My sister told her to stop being dramatic. My father said kids need to toughen up. My brother laughed and said I was raising them soft. I cleaned Emma's dress in the bathroom, dried her tears, and said nothing. Because that is what I do. I stay silent. I keep the peace. I write the checks. But something cracked that day. A hairline fracture in the foundation of my patience. I started keeping records. Not because I planned revenge, not because I wanted confrontation. I just needed proof. Proof that I was not imagining the disrespect. Proof that I was not overreacting. Proof that my family had turned me into an ATM with a heartbeat. I pulled up my bank statements one night after everyone went to bed. I highlighted every transfer, every payment, every charge I had absorbed on their behalf. The total for the past 5 years came to $463,000, nearly $500,000 that I had quietly handed over while my own children wore thrift store clothes and shared a bedroom. I sat in my office that night staring at the numbers on my screen, and I realized something. I was not angry. I was tired. Tired of being invisible. Tired of being taken for granted. Tired of watching my children be treated like second-class family members while I funded the empire that excluded them. I thought that was what family did. I thought loyalty meant sacrifice. I thought love meant silence. I was wrong. The call came on a Saturday morning. My father's voice was cheerful, warm, the tone he used when he wanted something but did not want to ask directly. James, we are taking the family out for dinner tonight. 7 o'clock at Fleming's. You should bring Sarah and the kids. Fleming's. The place where appetizers cost $30 and steaks start at $60. The place my family went to celebrate promotions, birthdays, and achievements. The place I had paid for at least a dozen times without ever being thanked. Sarah looked at me across the kitchen table. She knew that tone in my father's voice. She knew what it meant. Do we have to go? She asked quietly. I nodded, because despite everything, I still believed that showing up mattered. I still believed that family was worth the effort. We arrived at 7:15. My parents were already seated at a large table near the window. My brother and his wife sat to their right. My sister, her husband, and their 2 boys filled the left side. Emma and Daniel walked beside me, dressed in their best clothes. Emma wore the blue dress Sarah had ironed that morning. Daniel had on khakis and a button-down shirt that was slightly too big. My father glanced up as we approached. He did not smile. He did not stand. He just gestured to the 2 empty seats at the far end of the table, the ones farthest from the conversation, closest to the kitchen door. We sat. My mother was talking about my nephew's soccer tournament. My sister was showing everyone photos on her phone. My brother was laughing about something his son had said at school. No one acknowledged us. No one asked how Emma's piano recital went. No one mentioned that Daniel had won a school award for perfect attendance. The waiter appeared. He was young, polite, efficient. He took drink orders starting from my parents' end of the table. My father ordered a scotch. My mother got wine. My brother and sister ordered cocktails. When he reached me, I ordered water for the kids and iced tea for Sarah and myself. We will start with the appetizer tower, my father announced, not asking, just deciding. And bring out the kids' menu for the little ones. He did not look at Emma or Daniel when he said it. He looked at my nephew and niece, the ones who were already flipping through the regular menu, pointing at steaks and lobster tails. The waiter nodded and left. My sister's boys immediately started talking about what they wanted. My nephew said he wanted the filet mignon. My niece said she wanted the shrimp platter with extra sides. My father smiled and told them to order whatever made them happy. Emma looked at me. Her eyes were uncertain. She had seen the kids' menu at places like this before. Chicken tenders, mac and cheese, grilled cheese sandwiches, nothing she actually liked. The appetizer tower arrived, shrimp cocktail, calamari, crab cakes, sliders. My sister's boys reached for the shrimp immediately. My nephew grabbed 3 sliders and piled them on his plate. My niece took 2 crab cakes without hesitation. Emma started to reach for a piece of calamari. My father's hand shot out, not touching her, just pointing. His finger hovered inches from her hand, and his voice cut through the table chatter like a knife. Do not let your kids touch the food. The table went silent. Sarah's hand froze halfway to her glass. I stared at my father. He was not joking. His face was serious, stern, the expression he used when he wanted obedience without question. This is for the family, he continued, still pointing at Emma. The kids can wait for their meals. My brother laughed. It was not a kind laugh. It was the sound of someone who found the whole situation amusing, like watching a dog beg at the dinner table. They are not the priority today, he said, grinning as he grabbed another slider. My sister's husband leaned back in his chair, smirking. Feed them later. Emma's hand dropped to her lap. Her face flushed red. Daniel looked down at the table, his small fingers twisting the edge of his napkin. Sarah's jaw tightened, but she said nothing. Because she knew. She knew that if she spoke, I would have to choose between defending her and keeping the peace. I looked at my father, at my brother, at my sister and her smug husband, at my mother who sat there in silence, watching her grandchildren be humiliated and doing absolutely nothing. And I made my choice. Got it, I said quietly. The waiter returned with the entrees for my nieces and nephews. Steaks, lobster, loaded sides. To-go boxes appeared because they could not finish everything. My father ordered dessert for them. 3 slices of cheesecake, 2 sundaes. Emma and Daniel's chicken tenders arrived 40 minutes later. Cold, small, forgotten. When the waiter brought the check, he placed it in the center of the table. My father glanced at it but did not reach for it. My brother looked at his phone. My sister started gathering her purse. I stood up. Every eye at the table turned toward me. Split the check, I said calmly. Mine ends here. The car was silent. Emma sat in the back seat, staring out the window. Daniel had fallen asleep, his head resting against the seatbelt strap. Sarah's hands were folded in her lap, her knuckles white from gripping too hard. I drove. The streetlights blurred past. My mind replayed the scene over and over. My father's finger pointing at my daughter, my brother's laugh, my sister's husband's smirk. The cold chicken tenders sitting in front of my children while their cousins ate steak and cheesecake. I had walked out of that restaurant without looking back. I paid my portion of the bill in cash, dropped it on the table, and left. My family sat there in stunned silence. My father called after me, his voice sharp with confusion and anger. My mother tried to stand, but I was already gone. Sarah had followed me without hesitation. Emma and Daniel moved quickly, quietly, like they were used to leaving places in a hurry. We walked through the parking lot in silence. I unlocked the car. We got in. I started the engine and drove. No one spoke. There was nothing to say. Words would not fix what had happened. Apologies would not erase the humiliation my children had just endured. Explanations would not change the fact that my family had drawn a line, and my kids were on the wrong side of it. I thought about all the years I had spent trying to be the glue that held everyone together, all the money I had poured into their lives, all the sacrifices I had made to keep them comfortable. And in return, they had pointed at my 8-year-old daughter and told her she was not worth a piece of calamari. Sarah finally spoke. Her voice was quiet, strained, like she was holding back tears. Are you okay? I did not answer right away. I kept my eyes on the road, my hands steady on the wheel. I was not okay. But I was not broken either. I was something else, something colder, something sharper. I am done, I said. She understood. She did not ask what I meant. She did not try to talk me out of it. She just reached over and placed her hand on mine. When we got home, I carried Daniel inside. He did not wake up. I laid him in his bed, pulled the blanket over him, and kissed his forehead. Emma was already in her room, still in her blue dress, sitting on the edge of her bed with her hands folded. I sat down beside her. She looked at me, and I saw it. The confusion, the hurt, the questions she did not know how to ask. Why does Grandpa not like us? I wanted to tell her it was not true. I wanted to say that he loved her, that he just had a bad day, that it was all a misunderstanding. But I could not lie to her, not anymore. Some people do not know how to appreciate what they have, I said gently, and that is their loss, not yours. She nodded slowly, like she was trying to make sense of it. Then she hugged me, tight, like she was afraid I might disappear. I held her until she let go. Then I tucked her in, turned off the light, and closed the door. Sarah was waiting for me in the hallway. She did not say anything. She just looked at me, and I knew she was thinking the same thing I was. This was not over. I went to my office. I opened my laptop. I pulled up my banking app, my insurance portal, my mortgage payment system. I stared at the list of automatic payments. 12 entries, $4,000 here, $800 there, $250 for this, $500 for that. I hovered my cursor over the first one, and I clicked cancel. Sunday morning came quietly. Sarah took the kids to the park. I told her I had work to catch up on. She knew better. She kissed me on the cheek and left without asking questions. I spent the next 4 hours documenting everything. I opened a spreadsheet. I labeled columns, date, payee, amount, category. I went back 5 years, every mortgage payment, every car note, every insurance premium, every credit card minimum, every utility bill, every school tuition payment, every grocery run I covered when my mother called and said they were short. The numbers climbed. 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. By the time I reached the present day, the total sat at $463,212. I stared at the number. It did not feel real. It felt like a mistake, like I had added wrong, like there was no possible way I had handed over nearly $500,000 to people who could not bother to let my daughter eat an appetizer. But the records did not lie. Every transaction was there. Every payment cleared. Every automatic transfer executed exactly as scheduled. I created a second sheet. This one was simpler. It listed every active payment I was currently making. My parents' mortgage, my brother's car note, my sister's insurance, the cell phone plan, the streaming services, the lawn care service my mother insisted she needed, the gym membership my brother claimed to use. 16 active payments, some monthly, some quarterly, some annual. All of them tied to my accounts. All of them invisible to the people who benefited from them. I opened my email. I drafted messages, 16 of them, one for each service provider. The language was polite, professional, detached. I am writing to cancel the automatic payment associated with account number redacted. Please confirm cancellation and provide a final statement. Thank you. I did not mention names. I did not explain why. I just requested cancellation. I sent the first email at 9:30 in the morning. I sent the last one at 11:15. In less than 2 hours, I had dismantled the financial infrastructure that had been holding my family together for half a decade. My phone rang at noon. My father. I let it go to voicemail. He called again 5 minutes later. Then my mother. Then my brother. Then my sister. I turned my phone face down and went to the kitchen to make coffee. Sarah came home with the kids at 1 o'clock. Emma and Daniel ran inside, laughing about the ducks they had fed at the park. Sarah set her purse on the counter and looked at me. "Did you do it?" she asked. I nodded. "All of it?" I nodded again. She exhaled slowly. Then she walked over, wrapped her arms around me and held on. "Good," she whispered. My phone buzzed, a text from my father. "Call me, now." I deleted it. Another buzz. My brother. "What the hell is going on?" I deleted that one too. My mother tried calling again. Then my sister. Then my father again. I turned my phone off completely. Sarah pulled back and looked at me. Her eyes were serious, steady. "They are going to come here," she said. "I know." "What are you going to say?" I thought about that for a moment. I thought about all the things I could say, all the explanations I could give, all the justifications I could offer. But in the end, the answer was simple. "Nothing," I said. "I am not going to say anything at all." They showed up at 6 o'clock. My father's car pulled into the driveway first. My mother sat in the passenger seat, her face tight with worry. My brother's BMW came second. My sister's SUV parked on the street because there was no more room. I watched from the living room window. Sarah stood beside me. Emma and Daniel were upstairs, playing in their room, unaware of the storm gathering outside. My father got out first. He moved with purpose, his stride fast and angry. My mother followed more slowly. My brother slammed his car door. My sister climbed out of her SUV, phone already in hand. The doorbell rang. I did not move. It rang again. Then my father started knocking. Hard, loud, the kind of knock that demanded attention. Sarah looked at me. "Do you want me to get it?" I shook my head. "I will handle it." I walked to the door. I unlocked it. I opened it halfway and stood in the gap, blocking entry. My father's face was red. His jaw was clenched. He looked like he wanted to push past me, but something in my expression stopped him. "What is going on?" he demanded. "Why are you not answering? Your phone?" "I have been busy," I said calmly. "Busy? Your mother has been calling you all day." "We all have." "I know." "Then why have you not called back?" "Because I did not want to." His eyes narrowed. My mother stepped forward, her voice softer, pleading. "James, sweetheart, we need to talk about last night." "There is nothing to talk about." "Yes, there is," my father snapped. "You embarrassed us. You walked out in the middle of dinner. You left us with the bill. I paid my portion. That is not the point." "Then what is the point?" I asked, keeping my tone level. "The point is you made a scene. You made us look bad." I almost laughed, almost, but I kept my face neutral. "I made you look bad?" "Yes, you overreacted. You always do this. You get sensitive about nothing and blow it out of proportion." My brother stepped up beside him, arms crossed. "You need to apologize, man. You ruined the whole night." "I ruined it," I repeated slowly. "Yeah. Mom was upset. Dad was embarrassed. You could have just let it go." I looked at my brother, at his smug face, at the BMW parked behind him, the car I paid for, the car he thought he earned. "Let it go," I said quietly. "Like I have let everything else go for the past 10 years. He blinked, confused. My father frowned. "What are you talking about?" my father asked. "Do you know what your mortgage payment is?" I asked him. He hesitated. "What does that have to do with anything?" "Do you know?" "Of course I know. $4,000. "And when is it due?" "The first of every month." "And who pays it?" Silence. His face shifted. Confusion turned to suspicion. Suspicion turned to realization. "What are you saying?" my mother whispered. I looked at each of them. My father, my mother, my brother, my sister standing at the edge of the porch, suddenly very still. "I am saying that as of this morning, every automatic payment I have been making on your behalf has been canceled." My father's face went pale. My mother gasped. My brother's mouth fell open. "You what?" my sister said, her voice sharp. "I canceled everything. The mortgage, the car note, the insurance, the phone plan, the utilities, all of it." "You cannot do that," my father said, his voice shaking. "I just did." "You are bluffing. Check your bank account." He pulled out his phone. His hands were trembling. My mother looked over his shoulder. My brother did the same. I watched their faces change. Shock, panic, anger. "This is insane," my sister hissed. "You cannot just cut us off." "I already did." "Why?" my mother cried. "What did we do?" I looked at her, at the woman who raised me, at the grandmother who sat in silence while her son told my daughter she was not the priority. "You know exactly what you did," I said quietly. Then I stepped back and closed the door. They did not leave right away. I heard voices outside, raised, frantic, my father shouting, my mother crying, my brother demanding I open the door, my sister on the phone, probably calling her husband, probably trying to figure out what to do next. Sarah locked the front door. She drew the curtains. She took Emma and Daniel upstairs and turned on a movie. I stayed in the living room, sitting in the dark, listening to my family fall apart on my front lawn. After an hour, they left. Car doors slammed, engines started, tires squealed, silence returned. I went to my office. I opened the filing cabinet in the corner. I had been preparing for this moment longer than I wanted to admit. Not consciously, not with a specific plan, but over the years I had kept records, receipts, bank statements, copies of checks, emails confirming payments, spreadsheets tracking every dollar. I pulled out a red folder. It was thick, overstuffed, held together with a rubber band that barely fit around it anymore. Inside were 5 years of financial documentation, organized by category. Mortgage payments in one section, car notes in another, insurance premiums, utilities, credit cards, tuition, everything. I scanned the documents. I uploaded them to a secure cloud folder. I created a backup on an external drive. Then I printed a summary, a single-page breakdown showing total amounts paid per person. My father and mother, my brother, my sister, the grand total at the bottom. $463,212. I stared at that number. It still did not feel real, but the proof was undeniable. Every transaction documented, every payment verified, every claim I could make backed by hard evidence. My phone buzzed. A text from my brother. "You are going to regret this." I deleted it. Another text. My sister. "Mom is having a panic attack. This is your fault." I deleted that one too. My father tried calling. I let it ring. He left a voicemail. I did not listen to it. An email arrived from my mother. The subject line read, "Please talk to me." I opened it. It was long, rambling, full of excuses and justifications. She said I was being unreasonable. She said family helps family. She said I was punishing them for one mistake. She said they would pay me back if I just gave them time. I closed the email without responding. Sarah came downstairs. She found me sitting at my desk, the red folder open in front of me, the printed summary in my hand. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I am fine." "You do not look fine." I looked up at her. "They think I am bluffing. They think I will change my mind. They think this is just me being emotional." "What are you going to do?" I tapped the summary sheet. "I am going to show them exactly how much they have taken from me." "When?" "When they ask." She nodded slowly. Then she sat down in the chair across from me. "What happens if they do not ask? What if they just keep calling and texting and showing up? Then they will find out the hard way." "How?" I pulled up my email. I showed her the cancellation. Confirmations, 16 of them. Each one stamped with a date and a reference number. Proof that every payment had been stopped. Proof that the safety net was gone. "Their mortgage payment is due in 2 weeks," I said quietly. "My brother's car note is due in 5 days. My sister's insurance renews next week. They are going to start getting notices, late fees, cancellation warnings, and when they do, they are going to realize I was not bluffing." Sarah leaned back in her chair. She was quiet for a long time. Then she spoke, her voice soft but firm. "I am proud of you." I looked at her. "For what?" "For finally standing up for yourself, for our kids, for us." I did not know what to say. I just nodded. She stood up and kissed the top of my head. "Come to bed when you are ready. Do not stay up too late." I promised I would not. But after she left, I stayed in my office. I reviewed the documents one more time. I organized them into a presentation, a timeline, a visual breakdown of every payment, every month, every year. I was not doing this out of anger. I was not doing this out of spite. I was doing this because they needed to see it. They needed to understand exactly what they had lost, exactly what they had taken for granted. And when the fallout came, when the bills started bouncing and the phones started ringing and the panic set in, they would have no one to blame but themselves. The first notice arrived on Tuesday. My brother's car payment bounced. The automated system flagged it immediately. By Wednesday morning, he had 3 missed calls from the dealership's finance department. By Wednesday afternoon, they had sent a certified letter warning him that his vehicle was subject to repossession if payment was not received within 10 days. He called me 17 times that day. I did not answer. My father's mortgage payment failed on Thursday. The bank's automated system tried to process it 3 times before sending an alert. Insufficient funds. Payment rejected. Late fee assessed. My father called the bank. They told him the automatic payment had been canceled. He asked when. They told him Sunday. He knew. My sister's homeowner's insurance lapsed on Friday. The company sent an email notification. Policy canceled due to non-payment. No coverage effective immediately. Her mortgage company received an automated alert. They sent her a letter. Proof of insurance required within 30 days or the loan would be called due. She showed up at my house that afternoon. I watched from the upstairs window as she pounded on the front door. Sarah did not answer. Emma and Daniel stayed in their room. My sister stood on the porch for 20 minutes, yelling, crying, begging me to open the door. I did not move. She finally left, but not before leaving a note taped to the door. "You are destroying this family." I took the note inside. I put it in the red folder with the rest of the evidence. By Saturday, the panic had spread. My mother called Sarah's phone. Sarah answered, thinking it might be an emergency. "Please," my mother sobbed. "Please tell James to talk to me. I do not understand what is happening. The mortgage bounced. The bank is calling. Your father is losing his mind. Please, Sarah, we need help." Sarah's voice was calm, steady. "Have you tried asking James why he stopped helping? He will not talk to us. Maybe you should think about why that is. We made a mistake. We know that. But this is too much. He is punishing us." "No," Sarah said quietly. "He is protecting his children. There is a difference." She hung up. The calls kept coming. My brother left voicemails. Angry at first, then desperate, then bargaining. He promised to pay me back. He swore he would apologize. He begged me to just restart the payments until he figured things out. I listened to every message. Then I deleted them. My sister sent emails, long ones, explaining that she had not known I was paying for so much, claiming that if she had known, she would have said something, insisting that I was overreacting. That one bad night at a restaurant was not worth destroying everyone's lives. I did not respond. My father tried a different approach. He sent a text message, short, direct. "We need to meet, face to face, Monday morning, my house, 10 o'clock. I read it. I thought about ignoring it, but something told me this was the moment, the confrontation, the reckoning. I replied with one word, "Fine." Monday morning came. I dressed carefully, business casual, calm, composed. I printed out the summary sheet. I put it in the red folder. I put the folder in my bag. Sarah kissed me at the door. "Do you want me to come with you?" "No, I need to do this alone." She nodded. "Be strong." "I will." I drove to my parents' house, the same house I had been paying the mortgage on for 3 years, the same house where my children had been humiliated a week ago. My father's car was in the driveway, so was my brother's BMW. My sister's SUV sat on the street. They were all there, waiting. I parked. I took a deep breath. I grabbed my bag. I walked to the front door. My father opened it before I could knock. His face was hard, his eyes cold. "Come in," he said. I stepped inside. The living room was full. My mother sat on the couch, tissue in hand. My brother stood by the window, arms crossed. My sister sat in the chair by the fireplace, her phone clutched in her lap. "Sit," my father said, gesturing to the empty chair. I stayed standing. "We need to talk about this," he began. "No," I said calmly. "You need to listen." I opened my bag. I pulled out the red folder. I placed it on the coffee table. "What is that?" my mother asked. "Proof," I said. I opened the folder. I pulled out the summary sheet. I set it in front of them. "This is a breakdown of every payment I have made on your behalf over the past 5 years. Mortgage, car notes, insurance, utilities, credit cards, tuition, everything." My father picked up the sheet. His hands shook as he read it. My mother looked over his shoulder. Her face went white. $463,000, I said quietly. "That is how much I have given you. And in return, you told my daughter she was not the priority." Silence. My brother stepped forward. "We did not ask you to do this." "No," I agreed. "You just took it. For years, without question, without gratitude, without acknowledgement." "We thought you wanted to help," my sister said, her voice shaking. "I did, until you made it clear that my help was the only thing about me you valued." My father set the paper down. He looked at me. For the first time in my life, I saw something in his eyes I had never seen before. Fear. "What do you want?" he asked. "Nothing," and I said, "I do not want your apology. I do not want your excuses. I do not want your promises to do better. I just want you to understand that you no longer have access to me, not my money, not my time, not my children." I turned to leave. "James, wait," my mother cried. I stopped at the door. I looked back at her. You cannot just walk away from family, she said, tears streaming down her face. Watch me. I left. I got in my car. I drove home. And I did not look back. 3 months passed. The fallout was everything I expected and more. My father had to sell the house. The foreclosure notice came 6 weeks after I stopped payments. They moved into a small rental across town. My brother's BMW was repossessed. He traded down to a 10-year-old sedan. My sister's insurance lapse triggered a mortgage audit. Her lender demanded proof of coverage. She scrambled to find affordable insurance. The premiums were triple what I had been paying. The family fractured. My father stopped speaking to my mother. He blamed her for not noticing the payments earlier. My brother and sister fought over who should have seen the warning signs. My sister's husband filed for separation. The financial stress was too much. They tried reaching out. Apology texts, voicemails claiming they understood now, emails promising they would never take me for granted again. I read them all. I deleted them all. I did not block them. I just stopped responding. Silence was more powerful than anger. Silence left them wondering. Silence left them waiting. Emma started smiling more. She joined the school choir. She made new friends. Daniel got braver. He tried out for soccer. He scored his first goal. Sarah and I took them on a real vacation. Just the 4 of us. No family obligations, no guilt, no hidden agendas. We went to the beach. We built sandcastles. We ate ice cream for breakfast. We stayed up late watching movies in the hotel room. Emma laughed so hard she cried. Daniel fell asleep holding my hand. One night, Sarah and I sat on the balcony while the kids slept inside. The ocean waves crashed in the distance. The air was warm and salty. Do you regret it? She asked quietly. No, not even a little. I thought about that. I thought about the years I spent trying to hold everyone together, the money I poured into their lives, the sacrifices I made, the silence I kept. I regret waiting so long, I said. She nodded. What happens if they keep trying to contact you? Then they keep trying, but I am done carrying them. What if they actually change? I looked at her. Do you think they will? She was quiet for a moment. Then she shook her head. No, I do not. Neither do I. We sat in silence watching the stars. For the first time in years, I felt light, unburdened, free. When we got home, I updated my will. I removed my parents, my brother, and my sister. I established a trust for Emma and Daniel. I named Sarah as executor. Everything I built would go to my children, the people who deserved it, the people who never asked for it but would cherish it. I also started a new tradition. Every Sunday, just the 4 of us, we had dinner together. No phones, no distractions, just us. We talked about our week. We shared stories. We laughed. Emma asked about my family once. Just once. Do you miss Grandpa and Grandma? I did not lie to her. No, I said gently, but I am grateful for what they taught me. What did they teach you? That family is not about blood. It is about respect and love and showing up when it matters. She nodded like she understood. Maybe she did. Maybe she did not. But she would learn. And when she did, she would know that she mattered, that she was the priority, that she was loved. I built my life on a foundation of silence and sacrifice. I tore it down and rebuilt it on something stronger. Respect, boundaries, and the knowledge that I did not owe anyone access to my life just because we shared a last name. They called me selfish. They called me cruel. They called me heartless. But my children called me Dad. And that was the only title that mattered.